Guys walking from the gym. um I was watching this whole interview of a transgender woman who transitioned from a man to a woman back in the 80s when it wasn't so popular as it is now, and then detransitioned back to a man in the 90s, and now is helping a lot of people in the transgender community, who regret transitioning. His name is Walt Heyer, by the way. You can look him up. And all of this. And, there's just a lot of stats that people don't talk about after people transition. That, like, the suicide rate is, like, 19 times higher than a regular person and all these things. And nobody talks about this in the decision-making, and some of the decision-making is actually, like, quite rash, quite fast. He said that he went to the doctor and they gave him hormone prescriptions. The first day he went, like a psychotherapist or whatever, and then the next time he went to him, he approved him for gender reassignment surgery. Just 2 visits. And that's a big radical shift in your life that wasn't contemplated very long, or trying to see if there's other issues addressed. In his particular case, his grandmother started dressing him up as a girl when he was a little boy, when she used to watch him. And that actually led to sexual abuse by an uncle because he saw him in this little purple dress. Very complicated, but you could hear his story. And I'm not even trying to share that whole story or stats for any particular reason other than setting up what I'm about to say. And what I'm about to say is, listening to him, and one of the things he said is, even if you do gender reassignment surgery, you're still a man. You're still a man. Like, the quiet moments, and that's part of, I'm sure, the suicide rate and all these things, is because the quiet moments when you really reflect, you're putting on, a mask, but you're still something else, right? And then he said something so beautiful, and he said, women should stand up and say, hey, just because you change your genitalia and put on women's clothes and start mimicking women's behavior doesn't mean you're a woman. Like, you're reducing women to just genitalia and these feminine behaviors, versus, like, what makes women really special. And when he said that, I was like, I never thought about it that way, And then I thought, so the point is, claiming you're a trans woman and being expected to be called a woman, a real woman. They're a woman because they believe they're women. You're reducing women down to things that are basically saying that we're easy to replace. There's nothing special about that. All you do is do some of these things and you become a woman. And it's like, no. And the same way goes for a man. Just because I would do manly things doesn't make me a man. But anyway, I just never looked at it that way, that it diminishes women. The trans movement diminishes women, and so diminishes men as well. If you go the other way, I guess. But I'm speaking from my perspective. And the reality is, like, most of the cases of real, true gender dysphoria comes from little boys, not little girls. Girls is becoming popular now because, unfortunately, we're confusing poor children through the media, through schools, and all these things. And they're starting to say they're something they're not, or whatever, right? But anyway, not going down that road. I just want to go down this road that stood out to me. And when he said that, suddenly I felt like this rise in me to say, I'm so pro-woman. I'm so pro me, and so love myself and all that I'm capable of, and how I think, and how I look, and all these things. And suddenly I felt like such a what's it called? Just such a love that I'm a woman, and such a love that I'm different from my husband, and that we're partners. So this is how I see it. I'm totally pro-woman. totally anti-feminist, or at least what they call feminist today. And the funniest part about that whole statement is, compared to most women, I mean, no offense, but I'm bold as a lion. I have some very manly traits. I shoot guns. I've been in a physical altercation with a man. I mean, I could go down the list of things that would qualify me to be manlier than a lot of women. And yet I'm more proud to be a woman than a lot of women, because a lot of women are out here trying to be in the workforce and say, I'm just like a man. And it's like, no, you're not. Not at all. You know what? You know how many of these, honestly, annoying little feminist women, when they hang up with their male boss, who they basically give up the life of being a wife to somebody and supporting a husband to then be a slave to a male boss or a female boss, but typically a male boss, and do whatever he says. When they hang up with him, they start crying. You know how rare a dude's gonna cry? Dude's gonna be like, yo, put your balls back in your pants. Sorry for being very explicit. And get moving. Like, stand up straight, walk it out, get over it, move on. And women, and guess what? I would probably cry too in some instances, but the difference is, I admit I'm a woman. I'm more emotional. Things are gonna hurt my feelings and all these things. And it's like, I see it all the time in the workplace, and it's so annoying. It's like, don't be talking about you're exactly like this dude when you don't behave exactly like this dude. I don't see these dudes coming to say, my feelings were hurt. He's so mean to me. I don't know why he asked so much of me. Blah, blah, blah. This is literally what I hear. And I'm just like, bruh, your problem is you don't know how to play the game. You're a woman. You're different than a man, and he's different than you. Hello. Embrace your beauty, your attributes, everything about you that makes you you. And learn how to deal with a man who's different than you. Use your skill set. Men and women are literally built by God to be partners with each other, to complement each other. And this idea that we're just like them, just as fast, just as strong, just as smart, just as whatever, is all bullshit. Bullshit with a curse word, pardon me. Are we equal in terms of value? Is a man more valuable than a woman? Not at all. Are we equal in terms of value? 100%. Is one worth more than the other? No. But are we different? We're 100% different. Different doesn't make you less than. That doesn't make you less than. And I'm struggling with that. That's like the vibe we're on, is that we need to be exactly the same so we're not less than. And that's not true. I am best when I am in my strengths, and my strengths are different than my husband. But I love being a wife to him. I love supporting him. I love being a mom to my kids. I think I can do the job of mom to my kids better than my husband, so it makes sense that I'm mom to my kids naturally, and all these things. And so I say all of that to say, I'm 100% pro women. Women can do anything they set their mind to, just like a man can do anything they set their mind to. Women are crazy smart in different ways than men. In fact, more advantageous ways than men in some circumstances, just like men are smarter than women in other areas. It's the way we think. Like, men have this capacity to be more like single-minded, focused, and women are multitaskers. And I gotta tell you, sometimes I struggle working out because I'm thinking about my kids and getting them up and all the things I have to do that day and all this. My husband can just zone in and literally think about his bicep pulling the weight. And it's like I have to work on it. But that's a natural male trait that I don't have. So I literally have to fight against my natural state. And in bodybuilding, it doesn't help. but I know a weakness I have, and I fight against it. But anyway, I say all of that to say I'm pro-woman. I love womanhood. I love the fact that we like to feel pretty. We like to dress up. We like attention in that way. That doesn't mean it's in vain, but women do like to be appreciated for their beauty, for their grace. And I love that. I love that we can make babies. I think it's like the most amazing thing. It's like literally a gift from heaven that a baby grows in our body and our body shapes around it, and then we birth the child. I mean, all the stats are that the biggest pain, the worst pain, our pain threshold is X. And the stats are that childbirth passes natural human pain threshold. So it's like the only thing in life, unless you get like a bullet wound or, surgery without anesthesia, the only thing in life, there's nothing that causes more pain than childbirth. And it's past the normal human threshold, but women can endure it. If that doesn't tell you that there's something very special about women, then she should like you're an alien and you live on another planet. So anyway, embrace womanhood, embrace your grace, your beauty, your honor. Know that you're valuable. That don't throw away your treasures on person who will not appreciate it. Wait for that guy, that gentleman who will honor you and appreciate you and treat you as who you are. And know that you are incredibly special. You could do anything you set your mind to. And that the only person that's going to stop you is yourself. And beyond that, the only thing that will stop you is improper mindsets of who you are. God created you as a beautiful, incredible woman to be able to literally bring life on earth, to be able to work and strategically do things that men can't do, to be able to influence in ways that men can't influence. So love yourself, honor yourself, and find a person who will love and honor you the way you should be honored. But anyway, I just felt like such a bubbling up of how pro-woman I am, and how much I love being a woman. I love womanhood, and I'm so grateful that this is my identity, and that God said, I purposed you, Val, to be X, Y, Z, H, and J, and you're going to be this person as a woman.